hot pick time, Bristol, the playoff cutoff. We have Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch, and Denny Hamlin listed as favorites. Contenders, Kevin Harvick, Chase Elliott, William Byron. Underdogs, Eric Jones, Chase Briscoe, and Harrison Burton. I know some people are turning their heads as to why I put certain drivers in where they are. Quickly, Larson, in 14 races, has only finished outside the top top 10 5 times, and has the second best average finish of all active Cup drivers. Kyle Busch, 8 wins, which is the most of any driver, active Cup driver. That should be self-explanatory. Denny Hamlin, with the momentum he's had in the last 2 races, despite the poor finish he had at Darlington, he's got 2 wins at this track. He's got a 50% chance, or he's finished 50% of his races at Bristol in the top 10. Can't argue that. On the contender side, Kevin Harvick, I'm sorry, he has not been a race-winning driver. He may have the 3rd best average finish amongst active Cup drivers right now with 3 wins, 14 top 5s, and 22 top 10s. Just like I said, all season long, he's not really been a threat to win races this year, so I had to throw him there. Chase Elliott, on the other hand, 4 top 5s, 6 top 10s in 12 Bristol races, the best average finish of the Cup Series drivers. I put him as a contender only because of that goose egg in the win category. William Byron, he has a goose egg in the win category, but he does have top 5s and top 10s to back him up. And we've seen the breakout season that William Byron has had, and he's won on a road course that nobody expected him to win on this year. Underdogs, Eric Jones, this will come as a shock to you. Eric Jones has the 4th best average finish of all Cup drivers, 4 top 5s and 5 top 10s in 10 Bristol races. Chase Briscoe could be flying in under the radar as an underdog, along with Harrison Burton. And I know Harrison Burton's had 1 race under his belt for Bristol, but he finished in the top 20, 16th to be exact.
But why, Taz, why did you sound like Jim Carrey and there may be a chance? I just kind of had that vibe there from Dumb and Dumber. Like, are you telling me there's a chance with Harrison Burton? I don't know. I think Austin Cindric would have a chance. I think Harrison Burton.
Here's the catch.
And I wouldn't bet on
Harrison Burton started 27th and finished 16th.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like he may have some mojo there.
I'm just trying to, I hate to be the RFK fanatic here, but I think there's a guy by the name of Brett Keselowski that's got hella stats at Bristol.
That's where I was going.
When I was putting this list together, I purposely left a few names, and I knew he was one I purposely left off because you guys would mention him. There's a couple others I'm waiting on.
Because you and I are both picking him to win this weekend.
So you think I'm picking him this weekend?
I mean, there's a 1-point separation between you and I. It is my job to think what you're thinking.
All right, so where are we putting BK?
Brad Keselowski in 24 races, 3 wins, 6 top 5s, 8 top 10s, and has led 1,013 laps. Average start of a 9.6, average finish of a 16.7.
How many wins?
3.
He's got to be a favorite.
At least a contender.
I can go on the contender side, but I don't know, like, I'm in the middle of contender and favorite, but I want to lean more towards a contender.
Momentum.
He does. It's a jinx.
He does have the momentum.
He's afraid of the jinx. See, he's been thinking this entire time that he was picking Brad Keselowski for the win, but now that it's evident, he even proved that by leaving Brad K off the list, because deep down Taz is a BK fan too, and that's why I like Taz, because we both know that he is capable and very well could be the winner this weekend. I know I've got my money on it. There's just no way around it. RFK's been one of the strongest organizations in the NASCAR season, especially here of late. Keselowski, was a bottom seller driver at the beginning of this point, and now he's up to the top 5. So all my guy does is climb. This is his shot. I expect big things from Keselowski here. So I don't know. I would once again want to steer away from being the jinx, but he is a favorite, and he should be put into that favorite spot. I think the momentum that RFK has had, one of these drivers has to be at the favorite, because the organization in itself is doing things that other organizations can't seem to get done.
I agree.
So we'll throw him in the favorite. But there's another driver I want to throw in that favorite category. One who's got similar stats to Denny Hamlin, also out of the Ford camp. And used to be teammates with Brad Keselowski. And that's Joey Logano.
Joey!
2 wins, 6 top 5s, 10 top 10s, and 26 races.
Yeah, this is when the juice gets turned on. Penske's a winning organization. They know how to get it done in the playoffs. All resources are going to be on the drivers who are in the chase, and Joey Logano is going to get the best. I know this is an odd year, and Joey Logano has shown that odd years are the off years for him. But I think when the pressure is on, Logano somehow steals the show. If he doesn't steal the show, he's in the conversation. The guy's clutch.
Yeah, he is.
And I can throw him. I can put him in as a favorite if y'all are in favor for it.
I think he belongs on the list for sure. Another driver that I think belongs on the list. It's up to you, Miss Lee, favorite or contender, because you have to kind of say, well, wait a minute, Penske's not been hammering on all cylinders. But
well, that's just it. I love Logano, but I'm just not 100% sure that he can pull it off.
Yeah, so definitely
I think he can be. I can see him being a favorite because looking at the drivers around him, there's not a whole lot I can really pinpoint to be a favorite either. I know there's one driver I think Chris is going to be chomping at the bit for his name that I can list as a contender, and I'm sure he may have the capability of winning too.
Who's that?
Would that be the Ding Dong Bell? Christopher Bell?
Now, see, I would put Bell as a contender. Yeah, definitely.
Bell has been the most inconsistent. It's hard, it's hard to bet on Bell. This is where he was last year at this point in time. He wound up in the Final Four. I don't know. He can probably survive the round. Is he a contender to win Bristol? I was high on Bell at the beginning of the year. He has left a bad taste in my mouth. I definitely feel like, it's hard to put somebody that's in the chase as an underdog. But I guess amongst the situation that you're looking at with Christopher Bell and his on and off season all year long, that's a question to be asked, and maybe you can answer.
Just too inconsistent.
If you look at I think Christopher Bell, had he not had the issues he had at Darlington, I think he would be okay for Bristol, and he would be an easy contender. I'm still thinking he's an easy contender for Bristol, regardless. But there is one contender we are leaving off the list. We've mentioned his teammate and owner, and he was the winner of this race last year. And he's in the playoffs this year. He's got to be in the contender list. That's Chris Buescher.
Ooh. Okay.
This is kind of where RFK started piecing things together.
And they're piecing them at the right time.
Buescher, you were a doubter of Buescher in the beginning, and you were very hard on him and whether or not he was going to survive a Darlington and Kansas. Obviously, he had better results at Darlington, and Kansas was kind of a so-so in his top 10 run.
I knew if he had a good result in Kansas, I think he would have been all right for Bristol. Like I said, my question was Darlington because that's where his worst average finish of all the three tracks the first round was at. That's where I threw the question mark. I didn't want to be too critical of him, but I had to circle it because, Darlington's not the easiest track to go around.
Right. No, I'm just bringing that back. Just wanted that to be crossed everyone's time. I see Busch on the list. Kyle Busch. How about? Ross Chastain. What is his stats look like?
Oh, geez. And I hate to tell you this, Chris, but when we were debating between Chastain and Blaney to be eliminated, I looked at this track specifically, and the reason why I favored with you and having Blaney move on and eliminate Chastain was because of Bristol. He only has one top 10 in this race, in this track. His average finish is a 23.3.
Wow. Not good.
So, honestly, we could put him on the list, but if anything, maybe an underdog, and that's harsh to say. I'm still favoring Chris Buescher to be on that contender part of the list. Easy.
Well, Vegas has Chastain odded at 14 and plus 1,400. That's above Joey Logano and Kevin Harvick and Martin Truex. That's a surprise there. At the top of their list is Kyle Larson at a plus 600, then Keselowski at a plus 800, Christopher Bell at plus 800, William Byron at plus 800, Denny Hamlin at plus 800, Chase Elliott plus 1,000, Chris Buescher plus 1,100, Kyle Busch plus 1,200, Reddick 1,200, Blaney 1,400, Chastain 1,400, Logano 1,600, Harvick 1,600, Truex 1,600, Bubba Wallace 2,800, then Ty Gibbs at a plus 4,000. So then it starts going off the charts. Larson a heavy favorite.
I do think there is one underdog that should be noted. He's in the playoffs. And I know Chris has mentioned him earlier in the show, and that's Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Ricky is a plus 10,000.
He has
with Michael McDowell.
He has 4 top 5s and 6 top 10s, but his average finish is an 18.3.
Well, AJ Allmendinger's a plus 20,000.
I can see Stenhouse as an easy underdog.
I could too. Yeah, add him to the list.
Yeah,
I
can see Ricky as a underdog.
Well, that would really shake things up.
Trying to look at some other underdogs to throw in. Eric Almirola's another one if I'd never listed him either. 2 top 5s, 4 top 10s. He has led 39 laps at this track.
All right.
Really?
Yeah. Do we have to fill?
So we have one favorite left to fill, and the only name we questioned to fill in there was Joey Logano.
Yeah, Denny Hamlin. No,
he's in there.
Yeah.
Well, I can't think of anyone else to fill a favorite spot.
No, me neither.
Besides Logano. I mean, I would more put him as a contender, but since those spots are filled, I'm on board with putting Logano as a favorite.
What about Daniel Suarez?
I see him as an underdog, honestly.
But what is his stat?
Only 2 top 10s and has led 5 laps.
Wow. Ty Gibbs would be one to watch. I don't necessarily think we should add his name to the list. But people don't want to talk about it, how Ty Gibbs has been pretty impressive his year.
His only cup race stat for Bristol is 1 start, started 25th, finished 35th.
Must have been involved in a wreck.
Right.
And wasn't he involved in that fiasco with AJ Allmendinger in the Xfinity Series like 2 years ago?
Woo!
Where they spun to the checker flag?
Don't have me lying. Yeah, so Ryan Blaney, was he on any of those lists?
No, but I could see him be a contender at most.
Yeah, definitely not a.
2 top 5s, 5 top 10s, and has led for almost 500 laps.